Hi YouTube, this is Tara and welcome back to my channel. Okay, I'm at home and it's late. And I did finish my Thin Mints. I got some more in here, but not that many. Thin Mints are my favorite. And I can eat a whole box of Thin Mints in one day. I'm talking about eat one roll now, and then a few hours or later on at night, eat the next row. And so I did try I tried these. Okay. They okay. Somebody said they taste just like brownies. They do. But they don't taste just like brownies. Now. But they you know, if you like brownies and you like those. But if I can eat those or eat a brownie, I will eat a brownie. Okay, so I just logged on to come and talk to y'all for a moment about. I mentioned it in one of my videos. Okay, and I want to talk about it again because if you can give me some advice or let me know how you feel about things, okay? So, let's say you work on a job, okay? And let's say you made a mistake or did something wrong. Or let's say there was something about you that people didn't like you was always making a mistake or the same mistake. Or let's say that, which I don't understand, because if you got 5 employees, all of them can't be number one. Okay? Somebody gonna come in last. Let's say you was the person that always coming in last. Okay? Or something like that. Let's say there's something that people don't like about you or saying about you at work. How do you think it's fair that other supervisors and managers in other departments still hold that thing against you and don't want you to work in their department? Because I have mixed feelings about it. On my end, as an employee, is a no. But thinking about it from a manager or supervisor perspective, I can understand. Because you don't want anyone on your team that cannot perform or that causes problems or always lying or always, causing some type of gossip or they confrontational. We all work with people, right, on our jobs that do stuff, and you always doing the most, right? Um, I believe that from an employee perspective, that you should be able to hire an employee. They qualify, they interview, they do well, they have experience, and let them know. You may have got away with doing that in the other department, but we don't do that in this department. I can even appreciate you being honest with me, that I can appreciate you being honest with me saying, Joe, Keisha, Tara, Harriet, there is a question that I would like to ask you, or just bring up the situation or the circumstance, right? Bring up the situation or the circumstance. And, just give me the opportunity to either say yes and that doesn't exist, that no longer exists, or I'm working on that, or whatever the case may be. Don't just keep holding it against me. Okay? And When I, speaking for myself, when I worked on a different floor in a different department, right? Um, I struggled with my productivity in that department because the process was tedious. And every year, something changed. And every year, the process got even more tedious. And then I fell further and further and further behind. So people know me. I'm known for that. But the department that I work in now, I am like one of the top performers. Okay. So the productivity is like 175. And I've been there as of February 12th, 1 year. The productivity was 150 when I got there. So it's gone up. So that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Like, things change. You go through things change at work. There are changes and you have to adapt. Now, my productivity on any day, on a good day, is like 300. I'm on a bad day, 200. Okay? Yesterday, I did 300 plus accounts. The productivity is 175. Okay? And yeah, I talked to my. Okay, first let me tell y'all, because I said it in another video. What do y'all think of this too? Now, me being with my company for almost 10 years, I know how things go. You apply for a position, they call you for an interview. You interview for that position. If they are interested in you, the recruiter calls you and tells you and makes you an offer. If they are not interested in you, you get an email saying thank you for your interest in data entry clerk. Okay, let's say that. Although we was impressed with your resume and your application, we had so many applications. I'm paraphrasing. We had so many applications on file, and we decided to proceed with other applicants. Right? So when after I had the interview, right? After I had the interview, the next day, I sent a thank you for interview email because it is acceptable within my company. Okay? It's considered appropriate within my company. And I asked 3 additional questions in that thank you for the interview. I left my phone at home that day. So I could not check my application status. Okay? I couldn't check my application status that day. But the day after, when I sent the thank you for the interview email, I checked my application status. And when I checked it, it said not moving forward. That means that I'm no longer being considered for the position. Okay? And one thing that the lady said to me when she came to meet me, she said, hey. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Because I've seen her. I speak to her all the time. I say, hey, how you doing? And how's it going? And when I see her in the office, oh, you must have a new hire. Because I know she worked for home and everything. She was like, yeah, we got training somebody, whatever, whatever. So I'm thinking, I forgot her name, right? And they told me that I would be interviewing with Pam. And I was not interviewed with Pam because Pam was busy doing something at first, right? So was in the interview with Keisha and Karma. Okay? And I'm saying to myself, she said, hey, how you doing? And so she introduced her. I called the lady Pam after she said her name. So those are nerves. I'm just nervous in the interview. Miss Keisha, her job was something like totally different, almost. Like it was more detailed, more involved, right? And Miss Karma, her position would have been a great fit for me. I would have been learning something new, but I would have been using my old skill set to perform the duties as assigned. Okay? I had done it before, but I was not paid to do it. So the next time I know to lie and say, I was paid to do it, but I was just filling in for somebody. Like the person who was out and couldn't do the job, they trained me to do it, and I did it until that person came back. So next time, I won't be so honest and be so detailed and be like, I'll just say, yes, I've done it. But I don't want them to verify or to go and check up on things and say, did Tara do authorizations? Okay. So I didn't want them to do that because I know that wasn't my main role. That's just something I did. But it's a lesson learned. Here's the thing. I emailed my thank you for interview email. And I asked 3 questions. One question was, how soon do you think you'll be making a decision? Or when will you be making a decision? I'm just paraphrasing. She emailed me back, one of the people on the panel emailed me back and said, you will hear from the recruiter. Not sure how soon. Blah, 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 blah. Let me repeat that. You will hear from the recruiter. Not sure how soon. And, she went on into the rest of the email and answered the other questions. Now, me working for that company almost 10 years, I know recruiters don't reach out to you unless they call and offer you a job or schedule an interview. If they're not interested in you, they send an email or text or whatever saying, sorry, we chose somebody else, or they just don't contact you at all. Companies no longer contact you if they're not interested in you. Am I right or am I wrong? Do you know of any companies that contacts you after you apply an interview and you're not chosen for the job? They still contact you and say, sorry, you wasn't chosen for the position. By phone. I've heard of recruiters and companies contacting you and saying, well, you wasn't chosen for this position, but we do have another position that we think you would be good at. Am I wrong for getting excited because she said you will hear from the recruiter? Not sure how soon. Something within me said, calm down. Don't calm down, because I was excited like for a couple of hours after she sent that email. Right? And something said to me, calm down. Isn't just calm down, don't get excited yet. Nobody has called you. You haven't gotten a call. They haven't made you an offer. And I'm checking, looking at my phone to see if I got a missed call or anything. Nothing. Something said, check the status of your application. Remember, I had left my phone at home the day before, the day of the interview. So I couldn't check the status of my application because when you go onto the portal to go into your employee portal to check or do anything for the company on the intranet, on the company's intranet, they'll send you a text or call you with a code, right? And you have to key that code in. So I couldn't get in to check the status of the application. So when I went in to check the status of the application, after she sent this email saying you will hear from the recruiter, so it was like 4 hours later, and it said not moving forward. Not moving forward. And I'm praying and I'm saying, I'm thinking, I'm thinking, I'm saying it now. God, you're going to have to remove some people just so that I can get to where I need to be, as long as it's your will. Because it's unfair to me and everybody else that works there that and I'm grown, so I know the employment and interviewing and job seeking and honey game it's a game, and only the best of the best of the best, sir, are considered. And the only reason why I was considered, because one, I work there, two, I know the systems and so forth and so forth and so on. But I can't say that that's why I would be the best person for you to hire, because you interviewed probably 20 other people that work for the company and knows the system. I can't say, oh, I type 50 words a minute. Well, we interviewed 5 other people that type 65 words a minute. Oh, I come to work every day. I don't have a time and an attendance problem. Oh, well, we interviewed 3 other people that haven't been late at all. They have not even taken off in 2 years. So it's always some type of tomfoolery. Okay? It's up to you to sell yourself. Okay? So just imagine how deflated I was when I saw the application status says not moving forward. You know. So I talked to one of my leaders today. Okay? I talked to one of my leaders. Team lead, supervisor, coordinator, manager, whatever. I talked to one of the people on my leadership team. And she says to me, but when they call me and ask me about you, Tara, I say this, all good things. And I'm looking at her and I'm saying, in myself, that's a lie. But I didn't say that. And I'm like, no, you're not. Because first of all, you're the coordinator. You're not even the supervisor. So why are they calling you and not calling the supervisor? Or is the supervisor saying, you give Tara a reference because I don't want to give it? But then why wouldn't you want to give my reference? Because I don't call out, take off much. I don't be late all the time, although I have. The productivity is 175. I'm doing 200 plus just about every day. The only time I don't really like, if I leave early on my early day out, I'm getting at least 150. I'm supposed to do half for 175. I'm doing like 150, 200 even then on my half days. So what could you be saying about me that's so bad? And I know somebody may say, well, Tara, maybe they're not saying anything bad about you. Maybe they really did just choose somebody else that is more. And I get it. But y'all, I took this position that I'm in now, and it was less than the position that I'm working in, that I was working in before. So yes, it was a step down. So that's like a voluntary demotion. And based on what someone said that I heard say, like in HR, you can always explain why you did that. And you can give a good example, a good explanation. But what if they contact that supervisor and says Tara was struggling in her role, so we agreed after speaking to Tara and I agreed that would be the best thing for her. Now, I've lied. Yes and no. What if I contact that supervisor and ask her whatever, and she say, well, Tara, I would say da. That's what they telling you that they'll say. You don't know that that's what they'll really say. And then you'll go in the interview and you'll say, based on the conversation that you had with them, well, how did your previous supervisor feel about you? Well, my previous supervisor felt this way, that way, and that way, and that way. Because I always quote what's on my performance evaluation. All the good things that are on my performance evaluation, I always quote that because that's in black and white. So either you lied on my performance evaluation or you didn't, or you lying now. But you know what? Supervisors know supervisors. And there are times when supervisors, and I've seen and heard it myself, where, they just do stuff to help the employee out. Because like I said, in my previous role, I was struggling. And there's no way I should have got a passing performance evaluation. All of my performance evaluation points came from courteous, attendance, professionalism, all those character things that they rate you on when you come to work. Now, when it came to my work, my productivity, she couldn't get, especially after all the changes was made and she got a new boss and da 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 da. She couldn't play around with them numbers on that part. She basically, my supervisor had to give me higher numbers or higher points in other categories because she knew when she got to the productivity part that was going to be low. And in my company, you need at least a 3.0. When they changed the contract in 2023, my performance evaluation for 2023, it went from a 4.0 to barely a 3.0 because the contracts and everything had changed. And I was finding it very, very difficult to keep up with the changes that were made because the process had become so tedious. You can remember the changes. For example, oh, we're only going to pay 1,500 for implants now, when at first we were paying 2,000. Okay, you can remember that, and it's also in the contract. Implants now are reimbursable at 1,500. But if you now have to map, meaning put codes in a tab to get the rate per unit, per quantity, or whatever, now that's an extra step. Well, you say, well, it's just one extra step. No, you got to do that by all 20 or all 30 of them that's on there. Then you have to multiply the quantity times the rate. Then you have to add all the 30 and 20 of them up. And then get a total. Then add that to all the other stuff that's reimbursable at their rates. So calculating the reimbursable rate was hard. So I applied for another position, okay, that was similar to the one that I had previous to this one that I had to actually transfer from. They was like, no. They was immediately like, no. How do I know that? Because I went and I checked my application the next day to see. They sent an email, which is automatic. Thank you for applying for transfer opportunities. We are currently reviewing your application, resume, or whatever. Okay, you get that like within 5-10 minutes, if that long after you apply for the position. Okay, so the next day I go and I look. It says no longer moving forward, or not something. So I'm like, wow. And y'all, this position in that department is like just like the other department that I was in, but it's like way easier. Everything is etched in stone. There's no calculating of anything, much of anything. Everything is set. Why don't you think that I would be able to do that? So my my leader, okay, says to me, if you want me to do mock interviews with you, I'll do mock interviews with you. My mother worked in HR and she interviewed us all the time. She said to the point where I love interviewing. I am not going to take her up on that offer. Because I've already interviewed with you for this position that I'm in now. So if there's anything I could have done or did differently, it seemed like you would have told me. I interviewed for the refund specialist. You was in that interview. I interviewed for this position. You was in that interview, and I was offered and I accepted. So why didn't you tell me then? But I no, that's a trap. This is just like when she was saying all the nice things that she would say about me. Now I've talked to my supervisor, and um, I've talked to three members of leadership to let them know what my interests are and what I would like to try and do. Truth of the matter is, you are an adult. I'm an adult. You cannot depend or think or count on none of these other grown ass people at work who are your leaders and who are over you to go to bat and fight for you. But what these conversations that I'm having with my leaders are doing for me, it is helping me and showing me all of the BS and the tomfoolery that's going on. So I know how much and how far to trust you. She says to me, send me your resume. I'll take a look at it. I already heard her talking about somebody else's resume. Why I want to send you my resume just to see what you gonna say? No, I ain't that type person. I'm not that type person. I'd rather Google, okay? Which I did put. I put my I put my bullet points and all this kind of stuff, my objective or summaries or whatever. I put all that in an AI tool and let it rewrite it for me. And when it rewrote it for me and I liked it after I proofed it, I copied and pasted and put it right on my resume, which is another thing that I think that they can kind of tell. Like, AI wrote this, she didn't even write this. But it's like, man, like, you darn if you do and you darn if you don't. So is it not smart that I use AI because I'm just not good at it? So, you just have to look at these things and think about it. But y'all let me know. And I know somebody said, "Oh, don't talk about work. Don't talk about work." I'm not talking about work per se. I am giving you an example and telling you about my experience that I had. But I'm not talking about work in a negative because it's not work. It's not the work that I'm expressing my concerns. I'm expressing my concern about me maybe not using the tools that I have to get what I want and where I need to be, or I may not be using them correctly. Like, for example, maybe I shouldn't have asked the leadership. Maybe I shouldn't have talked to them and told them nothing. So that would be a tool or an experience or something. Maybe that's a step of process. Maybe I should have never did that. So I'm putting it back on me where, I'm taking ownership where I need to. But yeah, um, but I am putting it out there about how I just felt so deflated because she sent me that email saying you will hear from the recruiter. Not sure how long. Whatever. Gun done well. Recruiters do not call employees or potential employees unless they're calling to offer them a position. I've been with the company 10 years. So when you said you will hear from the recruiter, not you may, or if you are chosen, the recruiter will call you. Not even that. You will hear from the recruiter. Not sure how long it'll be. Unsure how long, not sure when, or unsure when. That's the part that got me when I went back and read it. What do you mean unsure when? Because you make the decision, and as soon as you make the decision, you gonna contact the recruiter, and the recruiter gonna call me. Well, if you tell the recruiter at 3:30, and the recruiter get off at 3:30, they probably not gonna call me until the next day. Or as soon as they may have other calls or other people to call to say, hey, you've been chosen for this. So a lot of things ran through my mind. But at the end of the day, working for this company and interviewing for this company, because I've been there 10 years, that was the first time I ever felt like somebody intentionally tried to throw me off. That's the point I'm making. I felt thrown off because I got excited about the wording. You would hear from the recruiter. So that means I'm like, oh, I'm going to hear from the recruiter. The recruiter going to call me. Because this company just don't call you unless they're interested in you. Or to gather additional information. But a lesson learned. And so I said, well, that means that I didn't need to work for her. And I didn't need to work for her. That just wasn't a good fit. Something better is coming. Then one of my leaders tell me, well, when you worked in your previous position, that little trouble that you had, and you was on the other floor, everybody knew about it, because I was up there too. Remember? And she was, and everybody knew about it. Everybody knew about your little struggle that you had. She said, so you may want to try stepping outside of this environment and go over to the other side and apply over there on the other side, because basically everybody in this office, in this building, knows about your little struggle that you had. And it doesn't even matter now that you've worked on it and you've taken the initiative to change it and to fix it. So yeah. So that right there said a lot when the other leader told me that. You may want to consider applying for positions on the other side, outside of this environment. Basically, ain't nobody gonna hire you, boo, on this side, because we all know about your struggle, your little struggle that you had, and that's a stain on your record, your productivity, and whatever else, and that you stepped down from that position and got another position, and then that the leader said, well, I did that before. I was a team lead for 2 years, and I had a situation and wanted to spend more time with my family or whatever the case may be, and I stepped down from that team lead position. And then they asked me when I applied for this position, why, or when I applied for a supervisor position, why did you step down? And I told them I need to spend more time with my family because in that team lead position, it required more time away from home or whatever the case may be. And so, and then she said, I got the position. She said, I know somebody who stepped outside of this environment and went and got a job somewhere else. And when they went and got the job somewhere else, so they came back in this department or in this building, and they got promoted to a team lead. So yeah, y'all let me know down in the comments. And I know somebody gonna say, and I don't mind. Go ahead and say it. Just like I had to say this to relieve myself and to get it off my chest. Go ahead and put it in the comments and go ahead and say it. If you know somebody's gonna say something, oh, don't talk about the job, don't talk about work, because people go back. Please don't do that. Please do not, and I'm not just talking about me. Please do not call nobody's job and tell them nothing that they're saying or posting unless it is something that's 100% need to be reported. Because just stop and think, you have a job too. And you may not post online, but you may tell your family or your friend. And you don't want them to go back and tell either. What you may happen for somebody else will happen for you. The seeds you sow, you will reap. You dig a grave for me, because that's exactly what you will be doing. You dig a grave for me, you may as well dig too, because you gonna fall in it. And I'm not just talking about me. I'm talking about period. You all hear and see people talking about things, and they're venting. They're getting out their frustration about their experiences at work. They have nobody else, no one else to talk to about this. Because 9 times out of 10, everybody else around them is having issues at work. This is a therapeutic way that they can get it off their chest. Like right now, right now. They may not be able to call their counselor or their therapist. They may be on the line with another person. They may not even have a counselor or therapist at this point and may need to get one. So please be sensitive and compassionate and caring in the community, because this is a community where we can come and talk. As long as you all are not cursing nobody out, as long as you all are not threatening nobody, stalking nobody. Please don't stalk nobody, nobody. Don't find out nobody's address or where they working on, that kind of stuff. This is not that type of community. You need to go on the OnlyFans or the fans only or whatever, and you can pay, okay, to play. Okay. All right. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, thumbs up the video. Tell a friend about my channel. I love you watching to the end. I hope I completed my thought, because I'm still kind of raw in my emotions about it. And yeah, for her to say, think about going somewhere else, and then to the other side. And I'm like, and then also the reason why I say it's not the job, it's me. I'm talking about me, my experience. Also, I'm looking for an opportunity to work from home, but I'm still transitioning into my own place. And I should have stayed where I was, but I didn't know things were going to turn out the way they was going to turn out. But yeah, had I known, then I'd stay where I was. But anyway, you know, in order to work from home, you gotta have that space set aside so that you can work from home and have that privacy in there, because you got company information, you got customer information, you got patient information, you got information that's private, and you need that private personal space where it won't be compromised. Okay, so let me know what y'all think. If I was all over the place, say that too. Say, girl, you was all over the place. I don't know what you were trying to say. Okay. And oh yeah, I think for St. Patty's Day or whatever for March, cause I don't really celebrate Saint. I don't really celebrate that holiday, you know. But but I mean, if you gonna cook up some green eggs and ham, I'll eat it. You know. And you gonna cook up some green eggs and ham, I'll eat it with no problem. Yeah. So thanks for watching. Bye.